Happening now, a man arrested at Jamestown High School after allegedly trying to fight parents and kids. Jury selection scheduled in a Dunkirk murder case.
I'm Justin Gould, driving across the Washington Street Bridge here in the city of Jamestown, where conditions aren't too bad. The road's a little slushy as crews have been working all night to try to keep things clear. Details coming up, though, about a massive power outage that swept parts of Chautauqua and Cattaraugus County.
And I'm Dakota Hunter in the First Defense Weather Center. We just went through a major winter storm. We'll break down those snow totals. We'll take a look at Doppler vision and view some of those viewer photos coming up.
That's News Now for Friday, March 2nd, 2018.
Live and on demand from the Chautauqua Audio Works studios in downtown Jamestown. This is your source for breaking news. WNY News Now.
And thank you for joining us. Happy Friday. I'm Ryan Hedrick. A winter storm warning was lifted for all of western New York this morning. Totals from last night's blustery storm are coming in. Chief forecaster Dakota Hunter has those details coming up. But first, we check in with our Justin Gould, who has braved the roads this afternoon doing yeoman's work. Justin, good afternoon.
Conditions on 3rd Street right now aren't too bad. The roadway is still snow covered, and that's pretty much the story across much of western New York right now, as everybody's digging out following this blast of winter that came down on the first night in March. Conditions last night as rain turned to snow brought down power lines across much of western New York. 3,000 plus people were without electricity in both Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties. Just under 8,000 people are without power in western New York from Wellsville to Ripley following severe winter weather Thursday night. Steve Brady from National Grid says right now crews are working to get to some remote locations that are causing these outages.
There's still a number of roads that are difficult to get down, and in the extreme southern tier, some of our higher voltage lines that serve substations, they run through some pretty remote areas, not along the road. They'll go through forests, up and over hills, down through valleys, so we have to bring in some specialized equipment to patrol those.
As for a restoration time, many people should see the lights come back on today, although Brady says more remote areas may be in the dark longer.
Really won't have a good idea of final restoration until later today because we're still assessing damage. It's clear in those areas we're going to be working into tomorrow, but how late into tomorrow at this point, I don't know.
National Grid has called backup from Niagara Falls. Brady says right now 200 plus workers are working to restore the lights. In the city of Jamestown, police shut down Jones and Gifford due to flooding caused by heavy rains early in the day. And as the rain turned to snow, Fredonia police issued a travel advisory urging drivers to stay off the roads. The heavy wet snow combined with nasty winds brought down trees which took power lines with them. Just feet from Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter's front door, a tree knocked out his lights as well. So back out on 3rd Street, we're looking at Berjota's right now, headed towards Fairmount Avenue. Main routes are pretty clear right now. They're drivable, but streets like Royal Avenue that we just passed is snow covered, so hopefully you didn't take off those snow tires just quite yet. Reporting on 3rd Street and Fairmount Avenue in the city of Jamestown, Justin Gould, WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Now, your First Defense Forecast with Dakota Hunter.
Yes, this winter storm, man, oh man, it has been nasty out there, especially what we went through last night and especially early this morning. But let's take a look at Lynx 1. We'll take a look at some viewer photos that came in. And boy, how about that, of the snow in the trees. And as we talked about, this was going to be that heavy, wet, heart attack type of snow. And boy, that certainly was the case. There you see the snow on the trees. And I also kind of like it, how it's on the fence right here. I really like that. I think we had a number of viewer photos come in. Take a look at this. snow from last night. Man, oh man, just so many of these. Here's another one from, I believe this was also in Jamestown as well. Take a look at that. You can see how thick and heavy the snow was. This was causing all the problems because of how heavy and wet the snow was. And here's another one. And boy, this was actually last night before the snow really started to get going. Not a whole lot there, but boy, it looks totally different out there now. And again, Justin mentioned it during his live shot that this is the tree that fell right in front of my house. And this knocked out my power for almost 3 hours last night. And boy, very, very nasty stuff out there. And again, I took this also this morning going to get a cup of coffee. And you can see, there you see, it looks like Mother Nature was playing paintball. I mean, take a look at this. That is because of all the winds that were whipping the snow around. Man, oh man. And here's another one. This is from Lakewood. Look at all the snow piles. Man, just lots of snow. And again, there's a road. Can't really tell that's a road, but that's exactly what that is right there. And this is probably the most frightening of them all. A tree fell on somebody's car while they were in it. Ow, man, take a look at this. This is probably the most disturbing of them all. And fortunately, I believe, right now, I believe they're all okay. But man, take a look at this. Look at all the glass in the car. Man, oh man, scary, scary stuff. And again, this is what we were fearing, was with this heavy, wet snow, it was going to weigh down trees, knocking them into power lines and onto people's cars and structures, because we've had so much warmth lately with all the rain. That really has allowed the ground to really soften up. Let's take a look at Doppler vision, which is on Lynx 2, and this is the live scan, and really, it's really quieted off. The heaviest snow is off to the east, and right now we're left with almost nothing. This is the live scan, and nothing is really showing up, but take a look at this. Lake Ontario. As I mentioned a few days ago, there was potential Lake Ontario may get involved in this. So Lake Ontario enhancement up around Rochester. So that's going to continue throughout the day today. But everybody else, it's really quieted off. But we may see a few more nuisance snow showers throughout the day. Now let's go back to the main graphic system, which is Lynx 1. And we'll take a look at the snowfall totals. We had so many of these come in. I could literally stand here for 3 hours and name all the snow totals that came in. But here's just a few of them. Forestville, 22 inches. Almost 2 feet of snow in Forestville, 21 in Perrysburg, 18 in Dunkirk, 16 Fredonia, 14 in Cherry Creek. Take a look at this. Jamestown, officially 4 miles east-northeast of the city line, 12.2 inches officially in the city, 12 inches. Ripley also at 12, and also for French Creek, 12 inches. In Whitesville in Allegheny County, 11.4 inches. Lots of snow came down in the hills, seeing even more than that. The hilly terrain, again, almost 2 feet. So, man, a very major winter storm we just went through, but we'll talk about that full quick solution 7-day and how long will this last. I'll let you know coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Dakota, thank you. A man was arrested Thursday night after allegedly trying to fight parents and kids who were reportedly trying to leave Jamestown High School, according to police. You see the mug right there. Authorities were dispatched to the school shortly before 10 p.m. for a report of a disorderly man, according to a media release. As police were en route to the scene, they learned that the suspect, 61-year-old city resident Robert Cavender, left the area. Police canvassed the area and located him in the 300 block of East 2nd Street. The suspect reportedly became uncooperative with police and was taken into custody, subsequently charged with second-degree obstructing governmental administration. He'll be arraigned in court in a few minutes. Police are investigating reports of a shooting at Campbell Hall Dormitory. That's at Central Michigan University in Mount Pleasant. The school reported the incident on its website and Twitter accounts. Mount Pleasant police are looking for a suspect who's considered armed and dangerous, according to national reports. The schools in the area, the university and city buildings are all on lockdown. We have become devastatingly numb to this. Students say they received a robocall Friday morning from the university alerting them to the shooting. Well, next, jury selection is expected to begin next week in a Dunkirk murder trial, and later, how selfies might lie to you. Yes, details when we return on this Friday on News Now.
Join us for the Dream It Do It STEM Wars and Career Search, Wednesday, March 14th at JCC. High school students compete in technology events and learn about STEM skills. Our coverage is built by Matco Tools. Learn more at DIDIWNY.com. It's DIDIWNY.com.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
WNY News Now is sponsored by Chautauqua Audio Works, 3335 South Roberts Road in Fredonia. More than a music store. Call 679-4333. Call now, 679-4333.
I just love to be with the dogs, and I like to do them one at a time. They don't wait for 5 hours in my shop. We have full groom, which includes everything from A to Z, nails, of course brushing, any trimming that needs to be done. I do offer teeth brushing, which is a little extra. So if he takes me 2 hours, it's $40. If he takes me 3 hours, I still keep it down. As long as the dog comes back happy and not at the door, I'm happy.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A jury selection is expected to get underway next week in Chautauqua County for a Dunkirk woman who is accused of murdering her boyfriend last summer. Jury selection in the trial of Rebecca Ruiz is set to begin on Tuesday. Ruiz allegedly shot and killed her then boyfriend, 21-year-old Julian Duman, on July 6 at a residence in Dunkirk. Besides second-degree murder, Ruiz was also indicted by a county grand jury on a second-degree criminal possession of a weapon charge and tampering with evidence. Well, two-time Olympian and American gymnast Aly Raisman is suing the U.S. Olympic Committee and U.S. Gymnastics. Raisman says both organizations knew or should have known about the sexual abuse committed by former team doctor Larry Nassar. Nassar pleaded guilty to numerous counts of sexually abusing female athletes, some as young as 13, under the guise of medical treatment. He's been sentenced in multiple courts and will spend the rest of his life in prison. Raisman's attorney released a statement accusing the committee and USA Gymnastics of a conspiracy to silence victims and to cover up the scandal. Raisman says she hopes that the legal process will hold them accountable and enable the change that is so desperately needed. The newest U.S.
5, 4, 3, 2,
the newest
1. And the liftoff of the Atlas V and NOAA's GOES-S, a highly sophisticated weather-watching eye in the sky, to join its twin in providing better forecasts and saving lives.
The newest U.S. weather satellite is now in space. The satellite was attached to a rocket that lifted off from Florida's Cafe Carnival Thursday afternoon. The satellite is the second in a series of next-generation weather satellites from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. Once it's set into position later this year, the satellite will provide images of storms, maybe help Dakota Hunter do his job a little easier. It will also help NOAA with predicting weather forecasts and severe weather outlooks. That's kind of interesting, Dakota. It's always evolving in your business, always evolving how we can tell. I know you're not a huge fan of long-range model forecasts, but stuff like that makes your difficult job a lot easier, right?
Yes, it does. And actually, that new satellite is actually going to be called GOES West, like how we have the new satellite that was launched into space for the East Coast. That's actually going to be for the West Coast. The West Coast satellite was launched earlier last year, and it was originally codenamed GOES R, then GOES 16, and now it's officially called GOES East since it's moved to its final position. And these new weather satellites are amazing. If you've never seen the GOES East weather-based imagery, you must look it up. It is fantastic. That is the true definition of weather porn. Now, getting into weather, I wanted to throw in a cute little, maybe not a cute graphic, but a nice graphic to show you. As I often tell you, March is a wild card month. Anything can happen. So I whipped up this graphic to show you kind of what we're talking about. The hottest recorded temperature in the month of March was 82 degrees, set on March 16th of 1990. The coldest we ever had occurred on this date. Back in 1980, it was 23 below zero. The most snow we've seen in the month of March was actually just a little over 30 inches. That occurred in 2000. And then the most rain we've seen in the month of March was almost 6 inches. That occurred in 2001. So wild weather in March. So if you thought this winter storm was wild, where have you been? This is absolutely typical for the month of March. It's a wild card season in the month, pretty much in the season of winter for many different reasons. Once again, the snowfall totals, I wanted to run through these very quickly just in case you missed it. Forestville, 22 inches, almost 2 feet of snow there. 21 Perrysburg. 18 Dunkirk, 16 Fredonia, 14 Silver Creek, and then as we get a little closer to home, 4 miles east-northeast of the city line, actually 12.2 inches, Jamestown officially at a foot, also for Ripley and French Creek, and Whitesville, that's in Allegheny County, 11.4 inches. So lots of snow came down, and as we were talking about, this was going to become the problem. It was not so much the fact of the snow, it was the weight of the snow and the wind, coupled with the pretty soggy ground that we've had because of the rain and the warmth that we've had recently. Forecast for today, snow showers taper west to east. They're pretty much all gone by now. So pretty much we'll see a few light nuisance snow showers throughout the afternoon. Otherwise, it'll be blusty. 27 Valley, 34 Lakeshore. This is below average with a pretty healthy northwest wind averaging 16 to 26. So that's going to blow a lot of that new snow around. And that is going to create some very, it's going to reduce the visibilities a little bit. So if you're going out, if you can even get your car out of your driveway, you do need to be very cautious out there because the winds will be blowing the snow around. Now, as we mentioned, the National Weather Service has canceled the winter storm watch for the westernmost counties. It's still in effect for Allegheny County and then areas out to the east, out toward Rochester. And the warning for Allegheny County will continue until 1 o'clock. But for the Lake Ontario shoreline, they're going to keep this going until midnight. And the reason for this is because, as we talked about, there's going to be north winds coming off Lake Ontario, driving some light lake effect. So they're going to keep that going for the lake effect coming off Ontario. Now, what we have is pitiful compared to what's going on out in the East Coast. Just a mess out on the East Coast. Yes, this is nothing but a complete mess. And again, our low pressure system that impacted the region is way over here, but there's a new low pressure area that kind of developed off the Atlantic coast, and the two are merging together. And this is going to be a blizzard for the New England area up to New York. So probably 60, 70, 80 mile an hour wind gusts, over a foot of snow up there. It is going to be pretty bad out there. So it makes us not look bad compared to what they're going to be going through out there as well. How about the next 7 days of your life, brought to you by Quick Solutions? And hey, there you see it, 36 for Saturday, but that's actually a little bit below average. The average high for this time of the year is 37, so we're not going to be too far from it. And then we dry out for Sunday with that high of 38, and then take a look at this. Sunshine comes back into the mix for Monday as well, and a few rain and snow showers for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But it looks like the temperatures start to trend down a little bit going into later next week. And of course, that winter storm warning for Allegheny County will continue until 1 o'clock. But for the westernmost counties, it's pretty much all expired. And we will have sports right after the break, so stay with us.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by Quick Solutions of Jamestown. Count on Quick Solutions for printing, copying, mass mailings, and so much more. Part of your team. Learn more at QuickSolutionsUSA.com. That's QuickSolutionsUSA.com. With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
Everything's made fresh here. We love to be outside, and it's nice inside if it's raining, so we have a choice.
Locals and non-locals agree that the Main Landing is quickly becoming a destination.
It's just so casual, and just the food is amazing.
I love the hamburgers.
But I really like the tuna I had.
The Main Landing Restaurant. Excellent service, awesome food, and a beautiful view.
WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
From the Phone Zone Sports Desk, powered by Express Bike and Auto, it is the fast break on this Friday afternoon with yours truly and Ron Lemon talking Bonnie's Hoops. And Ron, this must be especially sweet for you. You've hung in there for so long, like so many long-suffering Bonnie's fans. 11 in a row, they haven't peaked yet, but you got to feel awfully good as a fan this afternoon.
I can remember through the years driving from Frewsburg over to Olean to St. Bonaventure to watch games, and my wife used to jokingly ask us, why do you guys go over to these games? And both my son and I would say, well, because there's going to be a day when St. Bonaventure is going to be back at it and going to be the team that they once were. And we've gotten to that point. They're back to the heyday. They're back to being a successful team and a nationally recognized team. And so it just kind of feels good to know that you've stuck with the team through the highs and the lows, and now the highs again.
Now, Ron, Saturday's opponent, St. Louis, the Billikens, 16-14, fourth in the A-10, a formidable opponent for sure, but an opponent that the Bonnies can get, in my opinion.
St. Louis is the team that Jalen Adams scored 44 points against. You know, they're probably going to come out and try to figure out a way to stop him. So that should open up, some opportunities for Matt and Courtney Stocker to step up. Again, I just like the diverseness of this team. You can't just key on one guy. Any of them can be an offensive threat. And, looking forward, I'm looking forward to the tournament. We're going to get in there. Obviously, we've got a first-round bye, but it's just going to be fun to stay on this ride and enjoy the success that this team we've been looking for them to have for quite some time.
I will be very grateful, Ron, when I call you on Monday and we're talking about either the 23rd, 24th, or 25th ranked Bonnies, because I don't know how, as a voter, you can look at this team and say, okay, they're the 25th team, because I can think of about 5 or 6 top-rated teams that they're better than right now. So I think what we see with St. Bonaventure is they crack the top 25 with, say, like a 22nd or 23rd ranking. I don't know, just a prediction, but we'll see how it turns out on Monday.
Well, it'd be nice to see them get in the top 25. I've been watching a lot more college basketball lately just because I've seen like a team like Middle Tennessee State played last night. They're ranked number 23 or something like that. I've been watching those games, and most of the teams that are in front of them have won this week, so it'll be hard for them to crack the top 25, but it's certainly not going to be impossible, and I certainly believe they're a top 25 team, and I know you do, and I believe most of the Bonaventure community does.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Ron Lemon, stay well. We know you're getting over the cold, the flu. Stay well, stay under the covers. It's a good day to do that for sure.
Getting healthy for a great St. Bonaventure run in the NCAA tournament.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
It's tax time, so get to Express Bike and Auto in Jamestown for all of your vehicle needs. Service, inspection, vehicle sales, they do it all. For all of your automotive, motorcycle, and ATV service needs, Express Bike and Auto even offers financing. Your true one-stop vehicle shop is Express Bike and Auto in Jamestown. They're located at 1761 Foot Avenue Extension next to Quick Fill. Express Bike and Auto in Jamestown. Stop looking, start saving today.
All right, if you're considering a nose job, you shouldn't use a selfie. You shouldn't use a selfie to make that final decision. Why? Because selfies apparently lie when it comes to nose size. According to a new study in the journal JAMA Facial Plastic Surgery, selfies can make the nose appear roughly 30% larger than it actually is. Researchers say the increase in perceived size occurs when the selfie is taken at a distance of about 12 inches from the face. That's because the camera is proportionately much closer to your nose than the rest of your face. So when the picture is taken from a distance or 5 feet, the distortion isn't nearly as significant. Now that's kind of cool. All right, let me put this away. In today's look at Jeremy Roth shows us what happens when a deer and a python go head to head. Ooh.
A warning to viewers, the following images are a little disturbing, but they're also pretty darn fascinating. Biologists in Florida released images of a Burmese python trying to swallow a deer whole. The discovery was made in Collier Seminole State Park in April of 2015. Experts say the 11-foot python weighed 31.5 pounds and the white-tailed deer 35 pounds. The discovery was just revealed by the Conservancy of Southwest Florida. They believe it to be the largest predator-to-prey ratio ever documented for a Burmese python. The findings are set to be published in the Herpetological Review in March. Nature. Photographers are flocking to northern Michigan to capture a rare sight, and the resulting images are cool as ice. The Straits of Mackinac are piled up with rare blue ice thanks to a recent windstorm. It's a phenomenon normally seen only in glaciers. The ice isn't really blue. It gets its otherworldly glow because it doesn't have bubbles in it, and that allows it to easily reflect the blue part of white light. Again, nature. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
If I wasn't looking at that with an open mind, I would say that's absolutely disgusting, but that's actually kind of cool. Science is really cool how that evolves and how they feed off each other. Now, I'm reading a news alert off the phone. The Charlotte Observer is reporting that more than 2,000 people, including the President of the United States, at Billy Graham's funeral right now. It's a humongous event. We'll have more on our website, WNY News Now. But the man of the hour, Dakota, it is baffling to me how much snow we got in a short amount of time and the consistency and the wind blowing the snow up against the windows. I went to open the window for the cat today to look out, and he couldn't look out. I couldn't look out. The whole window was covered with snow. What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess to give you some reference, my driveway doesn't even look like a driveway. I mean, it is literally just piled high
The
with
Southern
snow.
Tier Express can play on your driveway right now.
Yeah, exactly. And again, there's video from our exclusive little chaser vehicle that we have. And again, you can just see the snow. And again, the main roads were pretty clear this morning. But man, oh man, if you live on a side street, likely lots of snow out there. And good luck getting out of your driveway.
Is this the last of it, though? I know you're, again, not a fan of long-range models, but if you were a betting guy, if you had to bet a Happy Meal right now, would you say this is the last of the snow this season?
I won't say.
Okay.
Because as I showed you during the full weather segment, March can bring us a whole bunch of surprises. And who knows, this may be the last storm of the season. We could have another one. It's all up to Mother Nature and how she wants to behave. But March always is a wild card month. And with that, let's take a look at that quick solution 7-day one more time. So again, 31 degrees as an average high for today. And again, that has also helped pretty much determine what kind of snow we were going to have. Temperatures all night fluctuated around freezing to just below freezing. So that allowed that pretty hefty wet snow. We call it that heart attack type snow. And again, a few snow showers for Saturday. Otherwise 36, average high this time of the year is 37. So not too far off from that. And then we dry out for the second half of the weekend going into early next week. But rain and snow comes back for the middle of the week going into late next week. And it looks like the temperatures go back down for later in the week. We'll keep updating it right here, and we'll keep you updated over the weekend and especially early next week right here. And of course, I always put a little web blurb up on the website at
I was going to plug that. That's very informative to people like looking ahead for the night, especially if you're going to go out tonight. I know a lot of people like to go out on Friday and Saturdays in Jamestown and Buffalo. Read Dakota's weather blog. He'll give you an in-depth look at what you can expect the next 24 hours. That's exclusively on WNY News Now. He does that 5 days a week. And this is interesting to me because when I look at March, I like to look at March as March Madness, college basketball. I want to get out in the courts and shoot some hoops, man. Give me a clear forecast so I can do that. I can't dunk over Matt Hummel if snow's on the ground. He's just going to use it as an excuse.
Well, I'm a golfer, so, you know, I totally understand your frustration.
Nobody's playing golf right now.
No.
We do have video of Donald Trump, and this is right now, arriving in Charlotte for the Billy Graham funeral. The highways and freeways around Charlotte are going to be congested, clogged beyond belief. He has a motorcade that you wouldn't believe, 2,000 people. Again, if you're just tuning in, attending the Billy Graham funeral. And this is a man who mentored and spiritually advised presidents of, the last 3 or 4 presidents. So I expect all the living, sitting presidents will be in attendance today. Quite an event in Charlotte. All right, that's it for Dakota Hunter. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Join us on WNY News Now, on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere you get your news. Get it from us. Have a great weekend where coverage comes first.
Be careful out there. See you Monday.